What was something spine-chilling that a parent said to you? Pack your bags, you're moving in with your father. My blood went cold. Mom had never mentioned my dad before. I'd asked my whole life, and she'd always change the subject or get this haunted look in her eyes. Now, at 16, after getting arrested for shoplifting at the mall, she was shipping me off to some stranger I'd never met. Where does he even live? I asked, my voice cracking. 2 hours north. He's expecting you tomorrow morning. Mom, what the hell? I don't even know this guy. You've literally never talked about him. She just stared out the kitchen window, gripping her coffee mug so tight her knuckles were white. Maybe that was my mistake. The drive was torture. Mom white-knuckled the steering wheel. Classic rock playing softly. Neither of us said a word. I kept stealing glances at her, but she looked like she was going to a funeral. When we pulled up to this tiny blue house with peeling paint and an overgrown lawn, a man stepped onto the porch. He had my exact nose, my dark hair, even the way he stood with his hands shoved deep in his pockets. Mom barely looked at him. Call me when you're ready to follow rules, she told me through the car window, then drove off without even getting out. Dad and I stood there in the driveway, both shuffling our feet like awkward teenagers. Finally, he cleared his throat. Come on, I'll show you your room. The house smelled like coffee and stale cigarettes. He led me down a narrow hallway lined with family photos I wasn't into, a small bedroom with a single bed and wooden desk. But what made my stomach drop were the walls, completely covered with newspaper clippings. Dozens of them, all yellowed with age, all about a convenience store robbery gone wrong. A clerk killed. My hands started shaking. Dad, what is this? He sat down heavily on the edge of the bed, suddenly looking much older than when he was on the porch. 16 years ago, I made the worst decision of my life. Robbed a Quick Mart on Highway 9 to pay for drugs. The owner, an old Korean man, fought back and I panicked. I felt like I was gonna throw up. You killed someone. Served 12 years. Got out when you were 2 years old. Your mom said I could only see you if I got completely clean and stayed clean forever. She was protecting you from this. He gestured at the walls. So why now? Why am I suddenly here? He looked directly at me with eyes that looked exactly like mine. Because yesterday you got arrested for stealing. I saw myself at 16 and your mom called me at 2 a.m. terrified. You're heading down the exact same path I did. Dad, I just stole some candy in a phone case. It's not the same thing. I told myself that back then, he said quietly. Started small. Candy bars from 7-Eleven, then CDs from the music store, then video games. Then I needed money for weed, then cocaine, then anything I could get my hands on. He stood up and pointed to a framed photo on the wall. A smiling elderly man in a red apron standing behind a store counter. That's Mr. Kim, the man I killed. He had 3 grandchildren. One of them would be about your age now. The room felt like it was spinning. I sat down hard in the desk chair, my legs suddenly weak. Your mom didn't send you here to punish you, he continued, his voice getting quieter. She sent you here so you could see exactly where bad choices lead before it's too late to choose differently. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept staring at Mr. Kim's photo in the darkness, thinking about how my dad looked when he talked about it, like the guilt was eating him alive every single day. For the first time in my life, I understood why mom had been so strict. The curfews, the constant check-ins, freaking out if I was even 10 minutes late coming home. She wasn't being mean or controlling. She was trying to save me from becoming my father. The next morning, Dad made pancakes and we sat at his kitchen table in silence. Finally, I looked up at him. I don't want to end up like you, I said. He nodded slowly, tears in his eyes. Good. That's exactly what your mom was hoping you'd say.